The surface of the sea looks perfectly calm. A pod of dolphins glides side by side through the deep blue water, enjoying the peace of the ocean, never knowing that danger is already very close. In an explosive instant, a killer whale launches clear out of the water, throwing its prey high into the air. Thousands of droplets scatter across the sea in a moment of raw power from the true ruler of the ocean. The hunt is over, and now the whole pod shares the reward. Around the fresh catch, the orcas move in one by one and share the food between them. There is no chaos, no desperate fighting. Everything unfolds in astonishing order. This is a behavior often seen in this remarkably intelligent predator. It is exactly this bond that has made the orca one of the most effective hunters in the ocean. Suddenly, another orca bursts up through the surface. The powerful leap throws up a curtain of white water, and for a split second the sea seems to explode. After that forceful display, the pod slowly settles. Black fins glide gently across the water. They look calm, relaxed, completely at ease. But the dolphins are still swimming fast, holding their formation, pressed tightly side by side. Without warning, one orca rushes in and flips a dolphin clean out of the water. The pod circles the new catch once again. One after another, each member moves in and shares the prize. There is no confusion, no fierce struggle. Everything follows a familiar order. This is the behavior of the most intelligent predator in this ocean. It is their coordination and their bond that has made the orca one of the most successful hunters the sea has ever known. When the meal is finished, the orcas begin to arrange themselves again, planning their next hunt. If you already know what that plan is, press number mark. If you don't, press number 2 and subscribe to the channel. The dorsal fins all cut through the water in the very same direction. They seem to be preparing for their next hunt, and these hunts are nothing short of spectacular. The sea suddenly turns chaotic. Wave after wave rises as the dolphin pod is attacked. Some are thrown clear of the surface inside towering columns of white water. The orcas keep moving across the vast open sea. That hunt does not seem to be enough. They are already searching for a new target, and this time it is far, far larger. They join into a tight, closed formation, ready for a much bigger battle. Two humpback whales swim through the open ocean. Their enormous size sends huge waves rolling out every time they surface to breathe. For an orca, this is not prey that can be brought down in just a few minutes. The pod begins to spread out. Some swim wide to either side. Others hold position behind. Every movement is slow, deliberate, and carefully calculated. The distance between the two sides slowly closes. The sea grows more turbulent as the orcas accelerate and press in on their target. The two humpbacks react instantly. But the orcas do not give up. They constantly change position, keeping the pressure up from many directions. When one slows down, another quickly takes its place. The confrontation stretches on across the endless sea. Black fins appear and vanish again and again beneath the surface, and great waves roll out across the whole area. Many times a humpback tries to break free of the circle. Powerful sweeps of its tail send columns of white water bursting across the sea, and yet the orcas keep following. They do not rush in recklessly. They wait patiently for the right opportunity. As time passes, the pressure of the hunt begins to take effect. The orcas press closer and closer. Bursts of speed come more and more often. The sea comes alive with powerful movement from both sides, and the whole ocean seems to rise in waves. This is no longer a series of short chases. This is a long contest of strength between the giants of the ocean and the hunters famous for their astonishing teamwork. At last, the advantage tips toward the orcas. Through sheer persistence and constant coordination, they take control step by step. Great waves still surge across the surface as the hunt reaches its decisive moments. In the middle of this vast ocean, this is one of the most spectacular hunts nature can ever create. And then the orcas simply return to swimming, gently, impossibly calm, but that peace lasts only for a moment. One orca suddenly accelerates and bursts clear of the water, right in front of the bow of a small fishing boat, startling the tourists on deck. But here is what no one on that boat realized. An orca never wastes its energy like that without a reason. A pod of dolphins is swimming, and suddenly one is flipped high into the air amid thousands of white droplets. The attack is so fast the prey has almost no chance to react. Seconds later, the surface is once again covered in spreading rings of waves. The chase goes on. Dolphins are still hurled upward. The sea still explodes into spray. The orcas strike again and again. The pod accelerates together and closes in. Powerful leaps come one after another, and the sea never stops erupting. Water bursts wide across the area as the hunters take turns attacking. In this vast ocean, the dolphin pod is facing one of the most dangerous opponents the sea has to offer. Then, suddenly, the orcas' attention shifts. Ahead of them lies a completely new target, and they gather together once more to hunt. The distance slowly closes. There are no more lightning-fast chasers. This time it is a larger confrontation and a far more dangerous one. The sea begins to churn as the famous hunters of the ocean move in together on a mother humpback and her calf. A new and challenging hunt is opening up across the endless blue. A tour boat drifts quietly through the wide blue water. Not far away, a massive dark shape appears beneath the surface. It is the blue whale, the largest creature that has ever lived on Earth. But unlike the killer whale, the blue whale does not chase down large prey. It does not pursue. It does not coordinate attacks in a pod. Instead, this giant feeds in a completely different way. When it finds the right source of food, the blue whale opens its enormous mouth and lunges through the water, taking in a vast amount of food with every single mouthful. It is the power of size, not the power of the chase. Press subscribe and explore the world of the blue whale with me. And to see the difference between these hunters even more clearly, a familiar scene returns. A pod is on the move, playing with one another across the wide open water. The surface instantly erupts with leap after leap. Water bursts wide as the whole pod tumbles and rolls together, rising to breathe and lifting up beautiful misty plumes of spray. There are graceful, flowing turns, supple and curving, at times slow, at times utterly serene. This is the friendly, united way of life that built the reputation of the ocean's finest hunters. And once again, the blue whale's spectacular feeding lunge appears within a scene of complete peace. This colossal creature rises slowly to the surface, feeding in a way unlike any other. If you find this video helpful, please subscribe and come along with us. After all those dramatic hunts, the ocean reveals a completely different kind of beauty. Ahead, an enormous humpback whale suddenly heaves itself out of the water. A body weighing dozens of tons launches into the air, then crashes back down, throwing up a column of white water in the middle of the sea. But that is only the beginning. One spectacular bridge follows another. Sometimes the humpback twists its whole body in mid-air before hitting the water. Sometimes it slams its massive tail down onto the surface, sending waves rolling out in every direction. Every movement reveals the astonishing strength of these gentle giants. Further out, many humpbacks move together across the open ocean, rising and diving in a familiar rhythm. Now and then, one suddenly heaves itself from the water, as if joining a performance with no audience but the ocean itself. In another area, the blue whale appears. The largest creature ever to live still glides quietly through the deep water, no chasing prey, no racing at high speed. Every motion is slow, yet full of power. Beneath the surface, schools of tiny fish create an extraordinary sight. Thousands gather into vast swirling masses, changing direction all at once, forming shapes that shift endlessly. Like a living whirlwind in the heart of the ocean, not far away. The orcas still hold their familiar formation, each one swimming close beside the others, moving in perfect sync across the waves. That bond lets the whole pod act as a single body in the open sea. The orcas glide across the surface before slowly turning downward. One by one, they vanish into the deep blue water. The ocean is a magnificent stage, divided into two completely different worlds. In the upper waters lies the dance of the giants. The humpback arches its massive body, then throws itself into a spinning leap, crashing down and making the sea explode in white. The blue whale glides silently past. The killer whales join into a pod to hunt. Up here, it is all power, all speed, all relentless life and death chases. But come, dive deep with me, all the way down to the floor of the coral reef, and here, a completely different world opens before your eyes. A world of a strange and wonderful peace. Look, tiny clownfish nestle in the soft embrace of the sea anemone. They swim in and out, darting playfully among the swaying tentacles. This is their safe home, a place no predator dares to touch. A miraculous symbiotic bond that has lasted for millions of years. All around, schools of tiny damselfish drift in gentle rhythm. They always stay together, bound tightly down to the beat of every fin. Some schools grow so large, they roll into a single enormous mass, spinning like a living whirlwind beneath the sea. This is how the smallest creatures protect themselves, turning weakness into the strength of the collective. And in the deepest crevices of the rock, tiny workers labor quietly. Cleaner shrimp with their long white antennae diligently tidy the entire reef. A graceful seahorse sways among the soft coral, as if gently dancing. Down here, there is no hurry, no bloody chases. There is only life, blooming, tender and still. And that is the most wonderful beauty of the ocean. Above are the powerful battles of the giants. Below is the gentle melody of countless tiny creatures. Strong and tender, fierce and peaceful, all existing together within a single world. And you have just witnessed both, completely. If you love the ocean the way we do, leave a number 1 and subscribe to the channel, so together we can discover many more wonders ahead.